Chapter 4: The Mansion. Under the cover of darkness, Aaron, dressed in a nondescript maintenance worker uniform, moved with stealth toward the senator's mansion. He meticulously timed his approach, ensuring that the estate was immersed in its early morning routine. With most of the security personnel occupied with their duties and shifts changing, he found the perfect window of opportunity to infiltrate the premises. The soft illumination from lampposts created pools of shadows, which became his allies as he navigated through the outer perimeter of the mansion unnoticed. Each step was calculated, every movement deliberate, as he blended seamlessly into the darkness, his presence concealed from prying eyes. Utilizing the stolen ID card and his thorough knowledge of the mansion's layout, Aaron seamlessly assimilated with the staff. Offering a nod to a passing security guard, he gained entry through a discreet side entrance, swiftly blending into the intricate network of corridors. As he traversed the dimly illuminated passageways, Aaron relied on the meticulously memorized blueprint of the building. Enhanced by his cybernetic implants, his vision pierced through the darkness, allowing him to maneuver without triggering security sensors or cameras. He expertly evaded the watchful gaze of patrolling guards, moving with the fluidity of a shadow towards the upper floor, where the potential locations of the console awaited. Identifying the two rooms marked on his mental map, the small study adjacent to the senator's bedroom and the private office overlooking the mansion's grounds, Aaron deliberated his next move. With meticulous caution guiding his every step, he decided to commence his search in the study, deeming it the more discreet and probable location for the sought-after console. Approaching the study door, Aaron carefully checked for any signs of electronic security measures. Finding none, he deftly picked the lock, the soft click of success masked by the distant hum of the mansion. Stepping into the room, he swiftly surveyed his surroundings, his eyes searching for any sign of the console. To his disappointment, the study appeared to be a haven for personal matters, a collection of family photographs, elegant decor, and shelves laden with books. The absence of any technological equipment hinted that the console might be located elsewhere. Maintaining his composure, Aaron took a brief moment to reassess his strategy, acknowledging the pressing need to swiftly progress to the next potential location, the private office overlooking the mansion grounds. As he made his way toward the office, he encountered his first obstacle. Heightened security measures, including biometric scanners and motion-sensing technology, presented formidable challenges. Pausing momentarily, Aaron's mind raced as he analyzed the situation. A quick survey of his surroundings provided a potential solution, a discreet alternative route that would allow him to bypass the direct path to the office. Stealthily, Aaron glided through the shadows, his movements fluid and calculated. He deftly skirted around the areas monitored by the biometric scanners, leveraging his intimate knowledge of the mansion's layout to evade detection. Despite the unforeseen obstacles, Aaron maintained his composure, his focus unwavering as he adjusted his strategy on the fly. With each silent step, he drew nearer to his objective, resolute in his determination to surmount any impediments in his path. Upon cautiously breaching the threshold of the private office, Aaron immediately discerned the heightened security measures in place. The room lay shrouded in dim light, casting elongated shadows across the opulent furnishings. His keen eyes swept the area, scouring for any indication of the console harboring the coveted information. Approaching the desk with measured steps, Aaron's pulse quickened with anticipation. He meticulously inspected the sleek surface, his fingers tracing the edges in search of concealed compartments. Suddenly, his touch grazed a hidden panel, and with practiced precision, he activated the glowing interface of a concealed console. A surge of excitement coursed through Aaron as he initiated access to the system. However, his anticipation swiftly waned into disappointment as he sifted through the data. Much like the console in the study, this one contained only mundane files and personal correspondence. Frustration nipped at the edges of Aaron's resolve, but he forcefully pushed it aside, recognizing the luxury of time he couldn't afford to squander. With a resigned sigh, he set to work extracting whatever morsels of useful information he could salvage from the console, determined to optimize the situation. As Aaron meticulously combed through the data, his senses remained on high alert, primed to detect any potential threats or disturbances. It was in this state of heightened awareness that he discerned a faint humming emanating from a nearby bookshelf. Intrigued, Aaron approached the bookshelf, his curiosity piqued. His fingers delicately traced the spines of the books, searching for any concealed mechanisms or compartments. With a soft click, a section of the bookshelf swung open, revealing a hidden alcove bathed in a gentle, pulsating light. Within the concealed alcove, Aaron discovered the second console. To gain access, he needed information gleaned from a pilfered ID card belonging to Senator Thost's daughter. True to his expectations, the password required to unlock the console was his daughter's date of birth. With practiced finesse, Aaron inputted the password, the console emitting a soft hum of acknowledgement. The interface flickered to life, unveiling a myriad of encrypted files and data streams awaiting his decryption. Aaron's heart raced with anticipation as he navigated through the system, his fingers gliding across the holographic interface with precision born of years of training. Delving deeper into the console's archives, Aaron's resolve solidified. This was the breakthrough he had tirelessly pursued. Upon cursory examination, the console yielded promising data regarding the clandestine transfer of weapons to rebels in Balmora. Yet, as he began the process of transferring these files to his secure drive, his optical implant flagged the presence of additional data encrypted with a complexity far surpassing the standard. A sense of urgency gripped Aaron as he grasped the significance of these encrypted files. Their formidable encryption posed a daunting obstacle, prohibiting direct extraction. To access the invaluable information concealed within, he must first breach this barrier before attempting to download the files. Though cracking the encryption would consume precious time, Aaron recognized that such stringent security measures likely safeguarded information of paramount importance. With a composed breath, he plunged into the daunting task, his focus singularly fixed on unraveling the intricate layers of encryption. Time stretched agonizingly as Aaron meticulously navigated through the encryption protocols, his fingers dancing over the console's interface with practiced precision. Each passing moment felt like an eternity as he navigated the labyrinth of algorithms, resolute in his determination to breach the final barrier standing between him and the truth. Despite the mounting pressure, Aaron maintained his composure, drawing upon his extensive training and experience to confront the challenge head-on. Failure was not an option, too much hung in the balance. The information concealed within these files could potentially alter the course of the Empire. With relentless perseverance, Aaron edged ever closer to his objective, his unwavering focus driving him forward. Finally, after what seemed like an interminable struggle, he breached the initial layer of encryption, enabling him to initiate the download process. As Aaron sifted through the additional data, his attention was immediately drawn to a recurring title across all files: Republic Superweapon Initiative. The ominous title sent a chill down his spine, hinting at something catastrophic in the making. However, he recognized the urgency of the situation and knew he couldn't afford to dwell on his curiosity at the moment. His priority remained on downloading the data before him, ensuring he had the vital information needed for his mission. Near the conclusion of the downloading process, Aaron's acute hearing pricked up at the sound of approaching footsteps, sending a surge of adrenaline coursing through his veins. The notion that another patrol could have arrived in such a brief interval raised alarms in his mind. Reacting swiftly, Aaron assessed his surroundings. With the download nearing completion, he recognized the urgent need to evade detection and vacate the premises before the intruder arrived. Without hesitation, Aaron sprang into action. He promptly disconnected his secure drive from the console, ensuring the crucial data was safely in his possession. With practiced efficiency, he swiftly moved to erase any traces of his presence in the room. Once the room was hastily restored to its original state, Aaron scoured the area for potential hiding spots. Consulting the blueprints he had meticulously studied, he located a nearby ventilation shaft. With a quick survey, he identified the entrance situated in the ceiling and swiftly removed the cover, slipping inside just in time. As he crouched in the semi-darkness of the ventilation shaft, adrenaline fueled his senses. He listened intently as the sound of approaching footsteps grew louder, signaling the imminent arrival of the intruders. With bated breath, Aaron peered through the slats of the ventilation shaft, his eyes adjusting to the dim light below. 3 figures entered the room, the unmistakable stature of Senator Thost, flanked by another figure whom Aaron recognized as Senator Crowley from a recent gala. However, it was the presence of the third figure that caught Aaron off guard, a Togruta woman. Her azure-hued skin was adorned with intricate white tattoos that seemed to dance across her complexion, a mesmerizing display of artistic expression. Red stripes adorned her leku, contrasting vividly against the deep blue canvas. Every movement she made exuded grace and purpose. Her cerulean eyes held a profound depth, reflecting both compassion and determination. Draped in flowing robes, she exuded a serene confidence, underscored by an undeniable nobility and quiet strength. As Aaron observed from his concealed vantage point, a sudden realization pierced through the chaos of his thoughts, a chill running down his spine. A lightsaber hung from her belt. She was a Jedi, and the presence of a Jedi always heralded something of significant import. Aaron's mind raced with questions, pondering the unexpected presence of a Jedi alongside the senators. What could have prompted her inclusion in this clandestine meeting? Despite the shock of this revelation, Aaron maintained perfect stillness, his training and instincts guiding him as he observed the unfolding scene below. He listened intently, straining to catch every word exchanged between the senator and the Jedi. Thost nervously relayed, "My sources indicate that the Empire is beginning to suspect something. We need to proceed with caution." Crowley Rawwood dismissed Thosti's concerns with a casual wave of her hand, asserting, "You're being overly paranoid, Thost. The Empire has far greater concerns than our activities on Balmorra." Thost bristled at the dismissal, frustration evident in his voice. "This is no trifling matter, Rawwood. If the Empire catches wind of our plans, it could spell a disaster." Their argument escalated, voices overlapping as they debated the best course of action. Amidst the mounting tension, the Jedi intervened with a calm yet authoritative tone. "Our focus must remain unwavering," she interjected, her voice cutting through the heated exchange. "The people of Balmorra rely on us to provide aid. We cannot allow personal disagreements to endanger their safety." Crowley nodded solemnly in agreement, her expression grave. "Master Kresa speaks wisely," she conceded, casting a pointed glance at Thost. "We must unite our efforts to ensure the success of our mission." Thosti's features softened, offering a begrudging nod of assent. "Very well," he relented, his tone resigned. "But we must proceed cautiously. We cannot afford any missteps." His words seemed to pacify the group, and Aaron sensed the tension in the room beginning to ease. Despite their differences, they all acknowledged the gravity of their mission and the necessity of setting aside personal conflicts in service to a greater cause. As the conversation progressed, Crowley Rawwood redirected the discussion to another pressing issue. "What about the latest shipment of weapons?" she inquired, her tone sharp with urgency. "Have they reached their destination safely?" Thost hesitated before responding, his expression troubled. "There have been complications," he reluctantly admitted. "Some shipments were intercepted by Republic forces. We've had to reroute others to avoid detection. Senator Crowley's brows knit together in concern. Intercepted? How is that possible? We've operated discreetly, outside official channels. The Republic should be unaware of our involvement. Thosta sighed heavily. It seems there's a leak somewhere, and we must identify and address it before our operations are compromised. Crowley nodded in agreement. We should discreetly coordinate with our contacts to investigate the leak. We can't afford any missteps. Our plans for Balmora are too critical to be jeopardized by Republic interference. Senator Thosta's expression darkened as he added, Furthermore, our funding is running dangerously low for the entire project. We need to secure additional resources, and quickly. Crowley's frustration was evident. How do you propose we do that, Thost? My financial resources are already stretched thin. Thosta nodded solemnly. I understand your concerns, Crowley. That's why I've taken preemptive measures. Crowley's eyes widened with skepticism. What measures? Thosta leaned in, his voice lowered to a conspiratorial whisper. I've initiated discussions with a businessman, a potential investor. He possesses the means to provide the financial backing we require to sustain our operations. Crowley's brow furrowed in suspicion. And who is this investor? Can we trust him? Thost offered a reassuring smile. His name is Aaron Reso, a shrewd businessman known for his profitable endeavors. I believe he holds the key to securing the funds we need for this project. As Thosti's words settled, Aaron froze for a moment, his mind racing. His mental shields faltered for a heartbeat. Reso? The man you introduced to me at the gala? Crowley inquired, skepticism evident in her tone. Thost nodded firmly. Indeed, the very same, he affirmed with confidence. Crowley's demeanor softened slightly, though she remained cautious. Very well, Daryl, but remember, we can't afford any missteps. Our future and Balmora's hangs in the balance, she reminded him, the weight of their mission palpable in her words. As the conversation unfolded, Crace's senses suddenly tingled with unease. Her Jedi training had finely attuned her instincts, and amid discussions of Balmora and finances, she discerned a subtle disturbance in the Force. Her gaze narrowed imperceptibly as she scanned the room, her senses reaching out to locate the source. Someone was here, she realized with certainty, lurking in the shadows, eavesdropping on their conversation. Without betraying her suspicions to the others, Cresa subtly shifted her stance, her hand inching closer to the lightsaber clipped to her belt. Outwardly composed, her expression remained serene, but inwardly, her mind raced with questions. Continuing her subtle probe of the Force, Cresa finally detected it, a faint whisper of thought. Whoever was present clearly possessed training to resist the influence of the Force. Her gaze flickered towards the ceiling, her head remaining still. She didn't want to alert the intruder prematurely. With swift precision, her hand closed around the hilt of her lightsaber, drawing it forth with a fluid motion. The azure blade ignited, bathing the room in its ethereal glow and casting shifting shadows against the walls. Aaron, perched in the ventilation shaft, had no time to react. Fueled by the power of the Kyber crystal, the lightsaber blade sliced effortlessly through the metal walls of the shaft. The structure groaned and protested under the searing heat, and within moments, a section of the shaft collapsed, sending Aaron hurtling downward amidst cascading debris. As he plummeted, his heart leaped into his throat, the world spinning in a chaotic blur around him. Struggling to orient himself, he braced for impact, which came with a sharp crash as he landed amidst the wreckage. Pain shot through his body as he hit the hard floor, momentarily stunned by the sudden fall. Amidst the settling dust, Aaron found himself confronted by Cresa, her lightsaber still aglow in her hand, her gaze fixed on him with a mix of determination and suspicion. Realization dawned on Aaron as he recognized that his cover had been blown in the most dramatic fashion. With Kreisa standing before him, a formidable opponent, he knew he faced a dire situation. Grimacing against the pain, Arin forced himself to his feet, his mind racing with thoughts of escape. With the ventilation shaft collapsed, his only route out now led through Kreisa. He knew he had to act swiftly to avoid capture. Summoning every ounce of his training and resolve, Arin braced himself for the looming confrontation. The success of the mission and the safety of the valuable data he carried hinged on his ability to outmaneuver his Jedi adversary. Struggling to rise amidst the wreckage, his senses still reeling, Arin heard a voice filled with recognition and anger slice through the air. Initially, the confused senators turned their attention from the Jedi to the figure rising from the dusty floor. "You!" Thosti's voice cut through the tension. His eyes narrowed as he fixed his gaze on Arin. Crowley, standing nearby, exchanged bewildered glances between Thost and Arin. "Thoste, what is the meaning of this?" she inquired, her tone tinged with confusion. "I'd like to know that myself," Thost hissed, dusting debris from his outfit as he continued to glare at Arin. "You disguised yourself well, thief," he sneered, his voice thick with contempt. "Attending lavish parties, striking deals, even seducing my daughter, all for the sake of robbing me? Who are you?" The air hung heavy with silence as Arin remained resolute, refusing to yield to Thost's demands. Fury flared in Thost's eyes, his patience wearing thin. "Answer me!" he roared, his voice reverberating through the room. Yet Arin maintained his stoic silence, his expression unreadable as he shifted his gaze towards the Jedi. Under his unwavering stare, Kreisa broke the tense standoff, her voice steady but authoritative as she unraveled the truth. "He's an Imperial spy," she declared, her words slicing through the tension like a blade. "You were correct, Senator Thost. The Empire is already aware of our involvement on Balmorra, but they require concrete evidence. That's why they sent him," she explained, her tone tinged with inevitability. "Are you certain?" Thost asked, his voice trembling with uncertainty. Fear flickered in his eyes as he absorbed Kreisa's revelation, the gravity of the situation settling over him. Kreisa's gaze hardened as she surveyed the room, her Jedi senses probing the hidden truths lurking within its confines. "This mansion is heavily guarded," she continued, her voice carrying a warning. "And it harbors chambers containing items far more valuable than those found here." "Hidden console," Thost whispered, his voice barely audible, genuine fear now visible in his eyes. As the weight of Kreisa's words sank in, Arin realized that his mission had taken an unforeseen turn. The presence of a Jedi was an unexpected complication he hadn't factored into his calculations.